So tomorrow's inauguration is sure to look a lot different, and talking to children about the event could bring some challenges. With thousands of National Guard troops standing by and the National Mall empty to all but flags, parents can still take steps to make sure that children really understand the significance of this historic day. For more insight now and tips is parenting and education expert Dr. Karen Aronian. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been such a dicey time to talk about politics with kids, and not that you choose to talk politics with your child, but it has been everywhere for the past 4 years, and definitely the last year in particular. Kids have been home from school, parents are working from home, so they might just sort of absorb this stuff in a way that they never had before. But tomorrow is a huge day, and you say that all children should be watching the inauguration tomorrow. At its core, why is this event something that you think is crucial for kids to watch?
Yes, Anne-Marie, it's a teachable moment. It's an incredible teachable event, and it is going to be an historically significant, beautiful event that will bring us forward now with healing, with unity, coming together in this nation. We have this opportunity here to share this occasion after so many harrowing events that have happened this year. So considering the insurgents at the Capitol, considering the pandemic, this is our time right now to bring our country together, and with so much fanfare and beauty that the inaugurations have always represented. So it is a streaming, teachable happening that we have to be a part of. So whether we do it in our home or we do it in our schools, we want to share this with our families and with our children right now.
There's no doubt that sort of the official broadcasting of the inauguration is probably aesthetically going to look beautiful. But we know that the nation's capital is under a lockdown. There's been sort of wall-to-wall coverage about the number of troops that are there. And the expectation is this will be a smooth transition of power, but the reason that the troops are there is because we don't know what's going to happen. So how do you address that with your kids if they know that there is tension in the nation's capital on this historic day as well?
Yes, it's so true. They have lived through what this whole year has, been about, unfortunately. A great deal of divisiveness, a great deal of political tug of war. And right now we are going to be witnessing, the peaceful transfer of power. And we are going to have the children, seeing this represented by their state officials, by our President-elect Joseph Biden, by our Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. And they're going to see that we're coming back together again. But yes, they have already witnessed and been a part of what has happened in this nation. There are going to be necessary protocols to keep any violence at bay. And I would, reference by saying there has been, unfortunately, precedents that have led up to this. So they're very aware and they're attuned. Luckily, we have received so much good information from our schools. And ask our kids at this time, what is it you're thinking about with regard to the inauguration? What are some things you expect to see? Why are those military present there? What is the importance of that? And, they have so much to share. So let's take their lead. They've already had many conversations in the school and with their peers. So let's see what they know first off. Let's fill in with facts. And again, let's keep it on what it is, a step forward, an olive branch, and our bridge to our future.
I feel like, when it comes to the political conversation, it's just become, so negative, such harsh language, rude language that we're using. And kids are, they're hearing it on TV during the election, every once in a while, because we had so many political ads on TV. My kid would just come out with a line about, one candidate or another. And I would kind of have to be like, don't say that outside of the house, or try to explain that this is a commercial and they're doing doing it, sort of to influence people. I'll give you actually a perfect example of something that happened with me. My child, like many kids, watch a lot of videos on YouTube. She stumbled across a video and explaining something about a political story. And as an example of fake news, the person putting together the video showed myself and my co-anchor, Vlad, and was like, see, that's what fake news is. And she thought it was hilarious because her mom just popped up in the middle of one of her YouTube videos. And I was obviously mortified and felt I had to explain what was happening here in this video. But I thought, like, what do you tell your kid about how we're supposed to talk about politics? Don't say certain things in the playground. Just what advice do you give a kid that really only has like a limited understanding about, all of this stuff? I mean, as an adult, we have a limited understanding.
Right. We're, continually processing so much information on a daily basis. And like you said, the kids are aware, and they're, this is coming into our home through our televisions, through streaming, through their friends. And again, when they hear something that is completely inappropriate or totally off base, yeah, you can hear it, but you don't repeat it, right? And what would you do in a situation like that? What do you think of that? Mm-hmm. And so often they already know. They have the answers. They've been raised right. They have listened to their, leaders and their family members and their school community. And they have significant ways of bringing this information through and, processing it correctly. So I have a lot of faith in the children, quite frankly. I see that when you open up questions like this, and you ask for shared meaning, they bring it together with civil discourse. I mean, this is the underlying theme right now that's being delivered in so many of our classrooms and in so many of our schools throughout this nation right now. How do we speak, hear another, and come together without berating that individual to hear what their thoughts are? Because that, again, we're looking to all make this country better and strengthen it. We have different ideas, of course, but how do we do that in a civil way? So these are the lessons that we're learning right now and we're bringing together right now, and through these civics lessons, right? And so this will be a tenet going forward that all of our schools are embedding and sharing with families. So listen to your kids, because they already have so much that's already good and on target through our, golden rule we've shared with them.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is an inauguration should be and is a point of pride for many Americans. This one in particular is historic for a number of reasons, one of them being the Vice President-elect, Kamala Harris. She's the first Black and South Asian woman to ever hold that position. And so, can we talk about, what this means for women, what this means for brown and Black children, but also why it's important for all kids, boys and people and kids who are not brown and Black, to sort of take in this moment and what lesson can be taught. A lot of kids are going to be at home because they're learning virtually. Their parents may be around. What should their parents say to them?
So I go back to the theme of what this inauguration has put out, which is America United. And again, that is the lesson that they're also, bringing forward into our country and into our children. So that is the theme, America United. And so with regard to what the significance is with Kamala Harris being our first woman, our first African American, our first American Asian woman to step into the position of Vice President-elect, this is a beautiful, unbelievable, remarkable time for all of us. And this moment in time will be celebrated going forward. And it is being heralded and upheld and so inspirational for so many in our country. And this is the essence of our country, right? This is our patchwork of people. And the idea that in America, we all have opportunity, the greatest opportunity. If we can think it, we can be it. It was beautiful to see her sorority sisters celebrate this momentous occasion and herald this moment as their own, as they saw Kamala Harris, become what she had set out to be And so it is a win for everyone.
That is so true. Dr. Aronian, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Anne Marie.